I now call order the regular session meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs on Tuesday, August 20th, 2013 at 6:30. Roll call.
Mayor Archie.
Here.
Vice Mayor Slattery.
Here.
Commissioner Larson.
Here.
Commissioner Tarpon is absent and excused. Commissioner Banter.
Here. Is Reverend Kurt Sneer here? Well, you know. It is only we'll have our invocation by our attorney, and will everyone stand? Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance following.
Let us pray. O merciful Father, as the citizens and officials of Tarpon Springs meet together to address our local concerns and problems, we give thanks to you for the bounty that we enjoy in all aspects of our community life, and for the peace and beauty that is ours each day. We ask for your inspiration to strive for excellence in our endeavors to serve the public. Grant us peace in our world and harmony between all people to your greater glory. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now go to public comments on any item that will not be discussed this evening. If you have something, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Sue Thomas, President, Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce, 11111 East Tarpon Avenue. I just once again wanted to thank our police department, our city, our mayor, city manager, everybody who helped us make Hippie Fest such a wonderful success. We now are so far ahead of Dunedin in the reputation that we have for our events. And I know everybody kept running and saying, well, it's not like Dunedin, it's not like Dunedin. We were estimating somewhere between 12 and 15,000 people, and I think it was higher than that at the Sponge Docks. People were out, they were eating, the food trucks were wonderful, they all showed up. We had over 100 Volkswagens at the Sponge Docks. The weatherman showed up too, unfortunately, but nobody left. They just stayed there. They went into the stores, they went in the restaurants. I cannot thank all of you enough for being there, for supporting us, and get ready for some more because the season's coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Seeing none, we'll have our first presentation, Chamber of Commerce Beautification Award.
Guess I should have stayed here. We haven't had one for a couple months because we selected businesses and then they wanted to make everything even better. And so you'll be seeing from the 1910 Inn and some of the other businesses. But one of the things that I don't know how many of you have noticed, but if you come downtown, we have 8 new businesses. You can take sewing lessons, you can take knitting lessons, you can take painting lessons now. It is becoming a really, really vibrant downtown. And one of the best ones, because for a while it was closed and I didn't have any iced tea, Danny Caves has now become the Bayou Cafe. And if you haven't been by there lately, new awning, new paint, new floor, new food, and wonderful new faces. I would like to present Dee and Hussein our Beautification Award because they have done a wonderful job with the Bayou Cafe. You guys hold that, so, and look, smile at Rodney. Okay, now, tell us about the Bayou Cafe.
The Bayou Cafe is breakfast, lunch, and we tried to also keep it also on the healthy note of it, so we're serving all boar's head meats and cheeses. We have, of course, they're all no preservatives and gluten-free. We have also gluten-free bread, but then we also want to change it up a little bit because of no donuts in Tarpon Springs at all. So we have fresh baked donuts and bagels every morning, and And we have really homemade soups and great healthy food, sandwiches, and great salads. So wanted to thank everybody for their support, and come by and see us. It's a whole new look. Thank you.
We'll see you next month with some new ones. Thank you so much. And come eat down there because I haven't had anything bad. It's been wonderful.
We definitely want to thank you for all that you do and for the healthy donuts. You can't get those anywhere.
My daughter loves them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know Commissioner Bouncer likes to be healthy, so I know they are healthy.
Cynical of it.
Are there any public comments on this item? Which comments? Then we will go to item number 2. City Attorney Jim Jacobon. You know, it's I guess it's a happy and a sad occasion for us. I don't know which is the happy or the sad part. I just tell you that that Attorney Jacobon will be leaving us. He'll be retiring, and one of those events is a good thing. Which one? You know, but the sad part for me is that we'll be without his wisdom and humor that he so richly supplies to us. And one thing about Jim is he's going to tell us what he believes is best for the city, whether we might want to hear that or not. But it's always a good thing for an individual to be able to retire in their youth and still be able to do some of the things that they would like to do. So, on behalf of the city, I think that there's something here for them to remember, and one time, I don't know, it says Jim Jacobon the third.
That's me.
But we knew that was a mistake. So we know that sometimes that you might want to be remembered, So we just put that right over it. It says Dr. Love. So I'd like to give you this. It's just something of our appreciation and something that you can look at and just remember your good times up here in Tarpon, when we always took your advice.
Well, I thank you very much. I'm touched. Seeing that it was on the agenda, I prepared some remarks. It's really been a gratifying and rewarding experience being the city attorney for Tarpon Springs for these 8+ years. And, you've heard me say this before, but in that time I've come to discover and appreciate that Tarpon Springs possesses a sense of identity, community, and continuity that sets it apart from most other cities. And I think I can say that with some authority, since my practice consists of representing cities up and down the west coast of Florida, not necessarily as a city attorney. I'm primarily a litigator, but when you litigate for cities, you pretty much get the sense of what they're about. And I really and truly, and this is heartfelt, believe that Tarpon Springs is a very unique place. It's like a small town in crowded Pinellas County. As an example, I recently learned that your mayor, fire chief, and city manager all played together on the same softball team when they were younger.
And we used to win.
And they used to win. And I don't think you'll find that in many other cities in Pinellas County or in Florida. It's just a unique sense of continuity. So while Tarpon Springs may not be Mayberry, I really think it's close, and I'm moving to North Georgia, to a county that has, I think, 22,000 inhabitants, and the biggest city, Blue Ridge, has about 1,500 people. And, hopefully I'll get involved there, and it'll be like a small town like Tarpon Springs is. On a more serious note, I think that there is a feeling out there that small towns and cities and municipalities are not important in the scheme of things. We've gotten this big idea about centralization in government, where the federal government dictates to the states and the states dictate to municipalities. But I want to read to you, and I'll be brief, something that Alexis de Tocqueville wrote in his book, Democracy in America. He was a French writer who visited the United States in 1831 and 1832. And in a book called Democracy in America, he wrote his observations about this great experience in democracy that was the United States, unique in the history of the world. And I really, it's sometimes a little turgid and tough to get through, but I really think I think every elected official at whatever position in the United States should read that to understand what America was in those days. He believed that municipalities were the foundation of a free and democratic society. He wrote, "It is man who makes monarchies and establishes republics, but the township seems to come directly from the hand of God." He believed, and I'm quoting, "Municipal institutions constitute the strength of free nations. Town meetings are to liberty what primary schools are to science. They bring it within people's reach. They teach man how to use and enjoy it. A nation may establish a full government, but without municipal institutions, it cannot have the spirit of liberty." And he discussed in the same chapter what he thought liberty and freedom in the United States was. He said, "In nations in which sovereignty of the people is recognized, every individual has an equal share of power and participates equally in the government of the state. Why then does he obey society, and what are the natural limits of this obedience? He obeys society not because he is inferior to those who conduct it, or because he is less capable than any other of governing himself, but because he acknowledges the utility of an association with his fellow men, and he knows that no such association can exist without a regulating force. He is the subject in all that concerns the duties of citizens to each other. He is free and responsible to God alone for all that concerns himself. Hence arises the maxim that everyone is the best and sole judge of his private interest, and that society has no right to control a man's actions unless they are prejudicial to the common weal, or unless the common weal demands his help. This doctrine is universally accepted in the United States." He concluded, and I quote, "Municipal independence in the United States is, therefore, a natural consequence of this very principle of the sovereignty of the people." And then he cautioned us that without power and independence, a town may contain good subjects but can have no active citizens. And what de Tocqueville was really saying is that liberty, self-government, and good citizenship begins and is best preserved and promoted at the bottom of the political spectrum at this level of government. I've witnessed in Tarpon Springs that its citizens are not hesitant to become involved, and maybe that harkens back to the Greek roots of this city. And as long as the citizens pay close attention to what their elected officials are doing, and as long as the elected officials in this city pay close attention to its citizens, I think Tarpon Springs is going to continue to be the unique place that it is. Again, thank you for allowing me to represent you these years. It has been a gratifying and rewarding experience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any commission comments? Commissioner Lawson.
Thank you. Attorney Yakimo, Jim, I just want to say what a pleasure it's been to work with you since I've been on the board. As city attorney said, as the mayor said, we've enjoyed you looking out for the city, but we've also enjoyed your sense of humor at various times, and I've enjoyed your friendship, and I will miss you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Benson.
I just want to wish you all the best of the Blue Ridge. That's God's country up there, and have a good time up there, and they'll come down to visit.
I certainly will. Thank you
very much.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Jim, I just want to thank you for your wisdom, your guidance through the years. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you. You do have a great sense of humor, and that, most attorneys are very dry. You're great. You're great to work with. And thank you for keeping our city out of trouble and all the litigation you've done for us. I never did get to see you in action on litigation, but I hear you were awesome. You're real good. And I understand you can have chickens now on your property up in Blue Ridge, so good luck with that and enjoy your retirement.
And I intend to, but thank you. And I will say that I think you'll find you'll be very ably represented by Jay Daigneault, who is quite the attorney.
Are there any public comments to this item?
Chris Robowski, 1602 Gulf Beach Boulevard, Tarpon Springs, 34689. Mr. Jacobone and I have oftentimes been on opposite sides of issues, adversarial, even combative, and I have a high respect for you. You may not believe that, but it's true. I hold elected officials in a different regard than average citizens, a higher standard, and I hold attorneys to the highest standard. And that's why I never give an inch. Any little flaw, any little mistake that you or any other attorney would make, I would point that out, because they are to be held to the highest standard, in my opinion, especially those who are working for the people. And many times we may have disagreed, but we certainly agree tonight on what you have said about Tarpon Springs. We are truly a family in this town. I've said it many times. It's just echoing what Jesse Burke has said many times up here. And she held you in the highest regard, very much. And I respect her opinion. And I know that she witnessed you litigating. That is something I wish I had done. So I wish you the best of luck up there, and perhaps you can hold someone else's feet to the fire at their public meetings in a similar fashion. So go get them.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I do say this. Who's that? Is that the
Chief
chief?
down on the end.
I'm under arrest.
I met Jim in the very early 90s. Remember the case?
Yeah, I think I do. That was an altercation, I think.
Yeah, the bar fight. But anyway, I wish you the best in your retirement, and you've well earned it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't know if that hand was up there or not there, for the city clerk. But go ahead.
No,
let's
get on with the meeting. I don't like
you've been taking a lot of our time tonight. We're just going to relax. You want to say something else?
No, I don't like this part.
No, I just say that, Jim truly has been a good attorney for the city. We've been fortunate. I've had a chance to serve with John and now Jim, and then it'll be Jay. I don't understand about this first letter thing, but if Jay can come in and do as good a job as you and John, then we'll be well served as far as an attorney for the city. So,
thank you.
With that, we'll go to consent agenda. Attorney fees, Frazier, Hubbard, Brandt, Trash, Jacobone, Metz, and you said the correct pronunciation is
Daigneault.
See, sometimes they say Dano, sometimes they say Daigneault. I say Dano. So, Jay, we'll get it right one day, now, LLP, invoice number 43095. 4 is approved revised job descriptions for various civilian police department positions. 5 is renewed contract number 090046-P, janitorial and floor services. Anything anyone like to pull? Any public comments on any of these items? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banter?
Yes.
Commissioner Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery?
Yes.
Mayor Archie?
Yes. Special consent is item number 6, approve library interlocal agreement.
This is an agreement that's been in the works a long time, involving many cities, the city managers of all the cities involved in this, in negotiation with the county, to come to this agreement. So this is a result of a lot of time and effort, and obviously to get most of the cities in Pinellas County to agree with the county and come up with a decision, especially with what we were facing in the library and the possibility of loss of money for library funds with the East Lake situation and stuff, to come up with an agreement that with the county going up on their library rate, on their rate that they charge, that is going to be of minimal effect to the cities and a minimal effect to our budget, where we're already prepared to find money elsewhere to make up the money lost. So after long, hard negotiation and stuff, we have a good agreement here that's, I think, the last of the 3 cities are going to be approving it tonight. It's already been approved by most of the cities without incident, and we bring this for you to go another 5 years with the library cooperative, which is so important of supplying our citizens with resources from throughout the county. And I'm happy to say it does so with minimal cost loss as far as the city of Tarpon Springs is concerned.
Any questions for the city manager? Any public comments on this item? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Banta?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery?
Yes.
Mayor Archie?
Yes. Item number 7, approve North County Coastal Route Agreement, TSTA.
This is the agreement for the trolley, with the expected increase that we all knew when we entered into that the grant only went for a certain period of time, and when that grant was up, there'd be more of a financial obligation for us to do. We talked about this at a previous meeting. This is the final agreement, and we're asking you to approve it and move forward with the trolley. It does give us some expanded routes, some expanded times during holidays, and again, the increase in money is due to the fact that the grant was run out, and we already knew that this was coming, so it's of no surprise to us as we watch the success. And Tarpon Springs being one of the top destinations for that trolley, the business community is happy about it, and obviously we want us to continue with predictions that, again, we're going to have record tourism in Pinellas County for this upcoming year like we had last year, and all the signs point to that. More people coming here, and hopefully more people getting on the trolley from Clearwater and Dunedin and coming to Tarpon Springs.
Any questions, Mr. Lawson?
Thank you. I was just curious. I think it was the last time that we looked at the Jolly Trolley service agreement that they came in with charts and graphs and whatnot showing the ridership. I don't see any of those statistics this time around. Have they given us any information? I know anecdotally I've seen people are on the trolley, but have we seen what the numbers look like?
Yes. Yeah.
They continue to be strong.
Continue to be strong, especially with us as being a destination point.
If at some point they're providing us with ridership numbers, I'd be curious if those could be followed.
I'll make sure those are always forwarded to the BOC as we get them in.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
One thing is that at some point, maybe we can even talk with the trolley about possibly doing some things at the museum for special events and the rest of that, just as a change in the route, since we talked about last time about trying to work a better partnership. Sometimes some of these things that they'll have going on up there might be a benefit to us. It's not that much, I don't think, of a way out of the natural route that they have. So something that maybe we can.
Yes, and we've told them we have some things we want to discuss along that line, and maybe with some other things we have going on. So,
okay. Any public comments? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archie?
Yes. Number 8 is authorize inter-fund loan, golf course improvements.
This is of course, to formalize the presentation we had before about the greens and where the money was gonna come from. So, as you know, Ms. Walker's meticulous about making sure we put it all down and, have it all official, so that document is here for you now. This is a project to redo all the greens, and do it while we have the in-house knowledge and stuff of greens to save us money in the long run. The money is gonna be borrowed and from the sanitation fund and pay back like it was before. So this is the formal document to put that into place and go forward with it.
I see it's a great interest rate there.
Pretty good, yeah. Not bad.
Any comments? Any public comments? Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery?
Yes.
Mayor Archie?
Yes. Item number 9 is approved change order number 1 to bid number 130032-B-JJ Craig Park Seawall Rehabilitation Phase 4.
As backup says, and Mr. Function's in the audience, so he can come forward if you have any specific questions about it. This is an increase of $14,000 to do some additional repairs that was found, and the process is, as stated in your background. Again, Mr. Function's here if you need any questions on this stuff. So we're asking to increase it in the amount of $14,000 to take care of the 342 linear feet of seawall, as well as the sidewalk replacement.
Any questions? Kind of straightforward. Any public comments? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archie?
Yes. Ordinance and resolutions, item number 10, ordinance 2013-21, water and sewer impact fee, second reading.
Ordinance number 2013-21, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, amending Section 20-1 of the Code of Ordinances to change the water service or sewer service impact fees effective October 1st, 2013, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. That's the reading of Ordinance 2013-21 by title only. This was published in the Tampa Bay Times by title only on August 19th, 2013.
Anyone have any additional questions? Any public comments? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery?
Yes.
Mayor Archie?
Yes. Item number 11, ordinance 2013-22, water and sewer golf course reclaim fee. This also second reading.
Ordinance number 2013-22, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, amending Section 20-81A of the Code of Ordinances regarding reclaimed water rates to establish a monthly reclaimed water charge for the city golf course, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. That's the second reading of Ordinance 2013-22 by title only. This was published in the Tampa Bay Times by title only on August 19th, 2013.
Any questions? Any public comments on this item? Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archie?
Yes. Item number 12 is resolution 2013-32, application 3141, final plat townhomes at Brittany Park.
Resolution number 2013-32, a resolution of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, approving the final subdivision plat, application 13-41 for townhomes at Brittany Park, accepting all offers of dedication as described in said plat, authorizing the appropriate city officials to certify approval thereon, and providing for an effective date. That's the reading of Resolution 2013-32 by title only.
Mr. Chapman.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Rodney Chapman, Planning and Zoning Division. What you have before you is application 13-41. It's a final subdivision plat application for the Townhomes at Brittany Park project. All site infrastructure has been completed and passed final inspection. All required platting documents have been reviewed for conformance with the Land Development Code and Chapter 177 of Florida statutes. And the approval of this plat is the final step in the land development process, which would allow for the sale of individual lots to prospective home buyers. Staff recommendation is to approve Resolution 2013-32, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any other questions for Mr. Chapman? I just think, is that picture that's in there, that's the right picture of it? I don't know if you have the second page that's says attachments and subject property, and it's showing the property at Ross.
Actually, no, that is not. It's at the intersection of U.S. Highway 19 and Brittany Park Boulevard.
I thought it was, but okay. Any questions? Any public comments on this item? Then Chair will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archie?
Yes. Item number 13 is Resolution 2013-31, authorizing sale of property contingent upon referendum approval, calling for a special referendum election on November 5th, 2013, establishing a ballot title and substance, directing that question appear as a referendum issue on the ballot, and provide notice to the supervisor of election concerning land located at 501 South Walton Avenue.
Resolution 2013-31, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs authorizing the sale of approximately 3.46 acres of surplus city land to Qualified Property Management Incorporated, doing business as Bernard Group, contingent on referendum approval by the voters, calling for a special referendum election for November 5th, 2013, for the purpose of submitting the issue to the voters, establishing a ballot title and substance for the referendum question, directing the question appear as a referendum issue on the ballot of the special referendum election on November 5th, 2013, providing for notice to the supervisor of elections, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. By way of explanation, the city manager and I talked to the developer. If you recall the discussion at the last meeting about building in guarantees and the necessity of building in guarantees that the project would be completed as they proposed in the RFP and in the time set forth in the RFP. It was determined that the only way to really do that was to go to a development agreement, and that's what the next resolution addresses. Since this was on the agenda for the last meeting, I thought it prudent to bring this up and suggest that you vote this down and then approve the next resolution.
Okay. Any questions? Any public comments on this item? Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to deny resolution number 2013-31.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archie?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, do we sign it when we deny it?
Either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's denied.
Okay, so we won't sign it.
Item number 14, Resolution 2013-39, authorizing sale of property located at 501 South Walton Avenue with contingencies.
Resolution 2013-39, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs authorizing the sale of approximately 3.46 acres of surplus land to Qualified Property Management Incorporated, doing business as Bernard Group, contingent on the negotiation of an acceptable development agreement, the negotiation of a contract for sale, the enactment of a resolution calling for a referendum question regarding the sale of the property to be placed on the ballot in March 2014, the payment by Bernard Group of any election expenses, approval of the referendum question by the voters, and the Bernard Group obtaining all necessary permits and approvals, and providing for an effective date. That's the reading of Resolution 2013-39 by title only. By way of explanation, all this resolution does is indicate that the city is interested in going through the process. There are backout points at various places here, all those contingencies. And the first step really is up to the Bernard Group to come forward with an application according to our ordinance procedures, an application for a development agreement. So we thought, the city manager and I thought it would be appropriate to pass this resolution to indicate that the city is willing to start that process.
Just trying to estimate, with from them coming forward, how long do we believe that it takes to hammer out a development agreement?
It really shouldn't take that long. Certainly, I certainly think 60 days is more than ample. Of course, we haven't really started the negotiation process, but fundamentally, I think the two issues are going to be the phrasing really the sole issue is going to be what the teeth are to ensure their compliance. We have the RFP, so we know what they want to build and what they propose. And my thinking on that is there were two fundamental ways, I think, to guarantee compliance. One would have them deposit a large sum of money in escrow and then get that back as they met the dates. They were very resistant to that, and I can understand why. The other is a process that Tom Trask has used in Oldsmar, where there are stipulated damages if they don't meet the points, and so if they don't, once all these contingencies occur and the contract is signed, if they don't then proceed and meet those development points, then they would be pay damages to the city. They'd still end up with a property, but they'd owe us money.
Okay. Any questions? Commissioner Lawson.
Thank you. Yeah, I do have a question. I have a couple of comments as well. Mr. Yakinen, can you refresh my memory? When we deal with a development agreement and negotiations related to a development agreement, does that create billable hours according to the new and improved agreement that we have with the city attorney?
A lot of the development agreement work is under the retainer. Anything that is real estate specific, Mr. Metz will be involved and deal with that. For instance, the contract for sale and things like that. But most of it will be covered by retainer.
Okay, thank you. As far as this issue goes, I still have the same concerns that I had the last time that we looked at this issue. I'm very concerned that we only had one bid to look at in terms of selling this property. I'm concerned about their decision to want to rehab the existing building, which I think is in questionable condition, as opposed to getting rid of that building and starting over. And furthermore, I don't believe that we ever really seriously analyzed whether or not selling that property is the right thing to do, particularly in regards to its location near the public safety building as well as the rec center. So I just want to state again my concerns regarding this issue.
Any other comments? Any public comments in this item?
Chris Trabowski, 1602 Gulf Beach Boulevard, Tarpon Springs, 34689. I echo some of the concerns that you've mentioned, Jeff. I think that those are definitely worthy of consideration. And also, a comparison, certainly it would be nice to have other bids The other bid that they had, they couldn't consider because of some technicality. So that's an unfortunate technical issue. So perhaps the voters will vote it down and go the other way. The other thing is the impact. What project that you do put in there, how much impact would it have on our town versus what you would be gaining for that impact? For instance, if you put something in that housed a lot of people, how many more cars would be on the road? How many more seats would you have to have in the classrooms for children, and so on? Versus how much more revenue you'd be collecting, versus what they're asking to put in there, right? So I think these are also valuable things to consider, and especially the issue, the condition of the building. I think that really needs to be checked out for mold and asbestos and whatnot. But the other thing that Commissioner Galactos had brought up at the previous hearing about this was he mentioned the Lowe's project, and it does seem interesting, at least, that there appears to be a double standard. Lowe's, not only were they not held, to fines or anything of this nature to build their project, every time they came back, it gave them something else. It's like every time they wanted, they were closing, I think, 22 stores when they were in here proposing that project the night that I was speaking up against Armstrong. The very next day it was in the newspaper that they were actually walking away from stores. So it seemed pretty obvious that that wasn't going to happen, but they have their left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing, and they were in here begging for all this stuff. Now, they could afford all that stuff they were begging for, but, they drive a hard bargain. So then you have a man, a much smaller businessman come in here and, really beat the crap out of him. So, you talk about making it easier for businesses to come in here and streamlining these processes or whatever. But you bend over backwards for the big boys, and then you set up a lot of hoops for the others. And I understand there is a very valid point, making sure that they actually go through with this project instead of just buying it up and sitting on it. I mean, there's got to be something done, but, penalties, it just seems like that's a bit extreme. Might just, in your next deliberation on this, you might come up with some other options is all I'm saying, because if they go back and watch those hearings, how it was handled with Lowe's, they might come back in here a whole different, that guy's not going to be as smiling, he's going to have his attorney in here. You know what I'm saying? All right, those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Public comments. And, I appreciate the concerns that Commissioner Lawson had. And one of the things is that, while we're talking about development agreements, it is very, 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 very difficult to talk about Lowe's and a property that the city did not even own and a development agreement and a property that the city owns, So, there are some things that we can do. In hindsight, say that there are some things that we wish we could have done for as Lowe's is concerned. I don't know if it would have been any different because we didn't own the property. We was talking about doing some things, and they would have to do some things. I guess my recollection is a little different. I don't remember bending over backwards for Lowe's. I remember Lowe's actually agreeing to a lot of the things that the city wanted and that the commissioners and vice mayor would like to have a good project. The project just didn't work. So I think that is two different projects, but I do appreciate some of the concerns that Commissioner Lawson has, and we'll see what the voters say if this thing moves forward. We still have to do a development agreement and the rest. So with that, Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
No.
Vice Mayor Slattery?
Yes.
Mayor Archie?
Yes. Item number 15 is Resolution 2013-37, authorizing changes in the Public Works Department, including reclassification of certain personnel positions
descriptions and other structural and organizational changes.
Resolution 2013-37, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, authorizing changes in the Public Works Department, including a reclassification of certain personnel and associated revisions to compensation for certain personnel, and revising a position description, approving the recommendation of the city manager regarding such structural and organizational changes, and providing for an effective date hereof. That's the reading of Resolution 2013-37 by title only.
You're going to see this twice tonight because we've got to come up with this reorganization in the regular session, and then you're going to have to meet as a CRA after that because of the CRA implications. So this is one of the ones we're going to do twice in both places. This is a long overdue change. Anybody who knows the worker that we've had in the CRA, who started as a CRA maintenance worker, knows that the job duties, what he's been involved with, his interaction with the businesses, and everything that's been going on, including some additional people we've got him to assist, that position has evolved tremendously. Henceforth, you see the operations and maintenance coordinator position. I know Sue just left, but anybody downtown, Peggy Preston is in the audience, can all attest to the value of this position and how it's really evolved from just somebody down there to do maintenance to somebody involved in meetings, involved with all aspects of the CRA. In this reorganization, we have an additional, and where the additional money is going to come from per job is actually not going to come from the CRA. It's going to come from the regular fund budget. The 15% of this time is also going to be to coordinate and mold the new position you put forward for the docks, the marina person maintenance, to have him counsel, work with, be involved with that person. Obviously, being out of the CRA, we needed to create this portion of the job to do that with. It will not take away from the CRA duties because we have additional help in doing stuff, but what it's going to ensure is that the same attitude and the same work ethic and what's been going on in downtown can go on at the docks also, and to do the same kind of things at the docks. So this position I'm bringing forward to you in the reorganization to create, and then have it go into effect. And again, 85% of the funding is CRA, 15% is parks and parkways. It's already in the budget, and we're asking you to approve this position tonight, and henceforth, when it comes into CRA, to approve it there also.
Any questions? Any public comments on this item? Before, state your name and address for the record.
I wasn't going to talk about this one. I was talking about the next one. I'm Peggy Prestis. My address is 1065 South Pinellas Avenue. That's my mailing address. I moved back here. I'm a native, and I was gone for most of 40 years doing economic development across the country, and I moved back 2 years ago. And since I moved back, I've become a non-working professional volunteer. And one of those I volunteer for is on the Tourism Development Council with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm a member of the Rotary, and also on the Historical Society. And I know how important this position is going to be for the sponge docks and for overall downtown, because we talked about it so much at the meetings. And you've done such a wonderful job in the CRA, and people have made so many wonderful comments about how wonderful downtown looks and everything else. And this is just going to make it so that the people at the sponge docks and the businesses there will feel more equal. And I think that it's very good, and I hope that you approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archie?
Yes. Item number 16, Resolution 2013-38, authorizing changes in the Division of Arts and Historical Resources of the Cultural and Civic Services Department, including creation of a new position and associated position description and range of compensation, other structural and organizational changes.
Boy, you're certainly getting your money's worth out of me in my last resolution. Resolution 2013-38, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, authorizing changes in the Division of Arts and Historical Resources of the Cultural and Civic Services Department, including creation of a new position and associated position description, establishing a range of compensation for such new position, approving the recommendation of the city manager regarding such structural and organizational changes, and providing for an effective date hereof. That's a reading of Resolution 2013-38 by title only.
Yeah, this is yeah. We've talked about this position before. We did get the input from the Historical Society that we incorporate almost word for word. I think there's one or two word changes, but the substance of it for the job description was added, and I think you've got a letter of support from Mr. Artanius in your backup and stuff. So we incorporated those into the job description, and we have that position ready to go and approve here for the organization, again in the CRA for the funding, and start moving forward with quickly trying to hire the position. I know the sooner the better, so we're going to go through the process as quickly as we can to find the right person for that job.
Thank you. Any questions on this one? Any public? Excuse me. Yes. Good to have somebody out there.
This is why I came. I'm Peggy Festus. My mailing address is 1065 South Pinellas Avenue, and I'm also the treasurer of the Historical Society. And I'm just here to support this and tell you how much we need this person to help us to keep the Depot Museum open and to be able to, so that it runs smoothly. And I can tell you that there are several board members who will be absolutely thrilled to death when we have this person and we don't have to go up there and do it ourselves every day. So we really appreciate your support, and we think it's going to be a wonderful addition for the entire town. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archer?
Yes. Miscellaneous, item number 17, approve salary and classification plan amendments and pay increases for fiscal year 2014.
And this memo pretty much summarizes what was talked about for the most part during our budget hearings. It includes the following: the adjustment of the salary ranges, 2% on the bottom and top, the 4% raise for employees under the conditions stated in your backup. There is 4 positions that we did not talk about in the budget time, but I told you there's 4 positions we're going to look at. All of them are, I believe, 1 grade changes just to reflect the job duties better. So it's a minimal amount of money for those 4 positions, but they're ones out of all the positions we looked at were the ones that we thought needed it. 1 in the procurement area, 1 in library operations, the senior librarian, the library operations coordinator. If you remember, that's the individual that did the tremendous research for us on the Forest property. We'll be doing research on another property, and the value that we've added with some historical research and the abilities in the library to research things, that position has taken on another realm, and we think the compensation should be there to move it a grade because of that taken on. The 1 position that is higher than most is the library director, but that position, in looking at it with the rest of from the salary survey, and especially dealing with the library cooperative, knowing what that is the 1 director position that was way low, and to get her up at least comparative with some of the rest of the ones, that's why I'm asking for the grade increase for the library director. I think of all of them, probably of all of these, that's the most obvious thing that we had to fix, and this will help in fixing that. In a position of carpenter, who, if you've seen some of the tremendous work he's done in HR and some other places, that person has probably earned his position 3 weeks of carpentry work, the raise that he'd done of what we'd had to spend to bring somebody in for one project. So this is a position that's going to save us far more than the 5% increase is going to be easily with the skills he can do and enable us not to bring people from outside of some projects and do some things in-house. So those are the 4 positions I'm bringing forward to you to adjust right now, and this is what many months of looking at and bringing to you and talking about in the budget time. I'm glad we're able to do this and finally move out of the many years of not being able to do much for the employees. I think this is on the road to get us to that middle ground where we like to be as a city. And plus, it's a big morale boost for the city employees to finally recognize their work with the ability to get them the salary increase.
Well, first, guys, thank you for bringing this forward. I definitely can support the not only the adjustment but reclassification and regrading of a lot of these positions. These people have definitely been worthy of those that type of regrading, upgrading, especially the library director. That was a noticeable one. But all of them are definitely have been great employees. Are there any questions anyone have? Commissioner Banton?
I just want to thank our employees for hanging in there in the years that we couldn't give them raises, and I think this is important to maintain our full service city. We have to have employees, and we have to give them wages that are competitive to keep them. And I'm hoping that in the years to come we have the funds to give them cost of living adjustments. So, like we said, their pay doesn't effectively go down because of the same with inflation and whatnot. So, I'd like to thank our city manager for doing this and putting this together for us. Thank you.
Vice Chair.
Thank you. I just want to thank again all of our staff and everybody does such a wonderful job, and they're hard workers, and it's unfortunate, the past couple of years we weren't able to give raises, but you all deserve it, and hopefully we can continue in the future. And again, I thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Thank you.
No, I would just add that I'm glad that we're in a position where we're able to look at doing these raises and position regrades and so forth. And I give credit to the city manager for some of the belt tightening that we've done over the years with the budget, so that we are now in a position where we can do this.
Any public comments on this item? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Slattery? Yes. Mayor Archie?
Yes. That concludes our regular session meeting, and we'll adjourn it at 7:28. We will now go to the CRA meeting. I'll now call order the Community Redevelopment Agency meeting of the City of Tarpon Springs on Tuesday, August 20th, 2013 at 7:29. Roll call.
Chair Archie?
Here.
Vice Chair Slattery?
Here.
Commissioner Larson?
Here.
Commissioner Taylor Penny is absent and excused. Commissioner Banther?
Here.
Item number 1, Resolution 2013-03, authorizing changes in the CRA staffing and including reclassification of certain personnel, position description, and other structural and organizational changes.
CRA Resolution 2013-03, a resolution of the Board of Directors of Tarpon Community Redevelopment of the Tarpon Springs Community Redevelopment Agency, authorizing changes in CRA staffing, including reclassification of certain personnel and associated revisions to compensation for certain personnel, and revising a position description, approving the recommendation of the city manager regarding such structural and organizational changes, and providing for an effective date hereof. That's a reading of CRA Resolution 2013-03 by title only.
I don't think there's any questions, since we just talked about it a few minutes ago. Any public comments? Shall we entertain a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Slattery?
Yes.
Chair Archie?
Yes. Item number 2, Resolution 2013-04, authorizing changes in the Division of Arts and Historical Resources of the Cultural and Civic Services Department, including creation of a new position and associated position description and range of compensation and other structural and organizational changes.
CRA Resolution 2013-04, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Tarpon Springs Community Redevelopment Agency authorizing funding for the changes in the Division of Arts and Historical Resources of the Cultural and Civic Services Department, including creation of a new position and associated position description, establishing a range of compensation for such new position, approving the recommendation of the city manager regarding such structural and organizational changes, and providing for an effective date hereof. That's the reading of CRA Resolution 2013-04, and incidentally the last resolution or ordinance I will ever read by title only.
For the city of Tarpon.
For the city of Tarpon, yes.
Any public comments on this item? Shall we entertain a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Commissioner Larson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Slattery?
Yes.
Chair Archie?
Yes. That concludes the agenda. Go to staff comments. Chief?
No comments, Mayor.
City clerk? City manager?
Everybody doesn't pose for a minute. Tom, can I have you come up here? I just wanted him to give you an update on our sewer break that we had over the weekend and continues to be a major. If you just give an update of where we are now and with the situation.
Sure. Tom Punch, Public Works Director. As you probably all well aware of, on Saturday evening we had a major sewer collapse at the intersection of Live Oak and Safford Ave. A pipe failure. With that, of course, we're called out for some emergency reactions. At the present time over here, we're setting up a bypass. We carry about 2 million gallons of water of fluid through that line a day, so the bypass is a critical part of the emergency repair. So we're in the process now of doing that. We're doing some temporary bypasses now. The project's probably going to take about 2 weeks to complete. It's very timely. Everything's got to be done in certain stages. Bypass, of course, first, dewatering, and then the reconstruction of the pipe and the one failed manhole. Everyone's back in service. We do have some minor service interruptions, but otherwise, besides a little bit of inconvenience, some traffic and a little bit of noise at times, and unfortunately some odor that goes along with this type of project. Everything should go along smoothly, and there really shouldn't be any more interruptions to service to anybody in the city. Now, we'll keep the city manager updated with any changes.
Any questions on this point? We appreciate the update. Just keep on plugging away.
Yes, sir.
Besides that, go ahead. I sent everybody a document that I got from the League of Cities that is very informative on the outlook for the future and some interesting information of talks about millage rates and per capita taxes and stuff. So as you look at that, I want to make sure everybody got a hold of it to look at it, and it's got some very good information. It was done by Mr. Ken Small. So that's just one of the things I want to make sure to pass on to you to look at and see where we are in that realm.
Thank you. Any comments from the attorney?
Dr. Love has no comments.
Vice Mayor.
I just, again, want to thank Mr. Yakovon, and we'll miss you, and enjoy Blue Ridge, because I was just up there, and it's beautiful, beautiful country up there. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Larson?
I was just wondering, the speech, Mr. Yakovon, you gave earlier, was that your first campaign speech there?
No, I will not run for, if I've learned anything as city attorney, I will not run for office.
Commissioner Banther?
No comments. Thank you to our attorney, and we look forward to having Jay with us next meeting.
Well, I just say to Dr. Love, we definitely will miss you. You know, every now and then you can, email us and let us know how you're doing,
send us some jokes or something like that.
I'll keep you in the loop, and I'll pass on my prayers.
We'll adjourn this meeting at 7:35.